Effigy!
Oh, hello. Welcome back. I'm Luke Lago. I was just about to mix up some gesso for this piece of sheet metal. Just a dab. Healthy dab. Add some water. Looking for a kind of creamy consistency. And slap it on. Make sure to go in one direction towards the end, then turn it after it's dried and do it again. Watch out for any cat hairs or chunks of paint. Then turn it after that's dried and do it again. And then again. And there it is. It's beautiful. So, I wanted to challenge myself and only paint using one color. And I picked the color that I dislike the most. Not because I don't like yellow. Clearly I do. See all the different yellows I have? But because it's hard to use. And I'm going to have to use some brown too, because brown is just dark yellow. If you don't believe me, look at spicy mustard. Anyway, I mixed up all the yellows into one in a cup and threw it on there. And now I'm going to start. I'm going to start just putting down a little bit of that brown. And a little more of that yellow with a little more white in it. And yes, yellow is hard to use. Ask any miniature painter. They will tell you. You might as well just paint it white first before using yellow, because you're going to have to use like 500 coats of it to get it to turn yellow, especially if it's on a dark surface. And that goes with pretty much any paint I've ever used. So I've got a character figured out here, and I started creating the story in my head as well as the painting itself. I mentioned a couple weeks ago that I was going to start telling you a little bit more about the world that I've created. And I will get into that here in a moment. But as you can see, I do believe that all paint, even if it takes 100 coats to put down, has a purpose. And by now, a lot of you who've watched my videos know that I like to glaze. So yellow is just kind of like a pre-made glaze, really, because it doesn't coat very well. And that's great and all, but if you want it to coat, then you pretty much got to mix it with white, or paint the area white first. And so I'm trying real hard here with the yellows that I've got to get as much depth out of it as I can. And I was kind of surprised with mixing yellow and the browns that I used. You can almost trick your eyes into feeling like you're seeing like a reddish hue in there, but there isn't any. So I didn't completely hate doing this. I had a pretty good time doing it. Do I want to do it again? Not really. There is a reason why I usually pick one or two things to paint in a painting that are yellow, if any. But it's not impossible, and it was a good challenge, I think. glazes down. Yeah, yellow as a pre-made glaze is actually a great way to treat it. It's funny how when you just change the way you perceive something, it's suddenly, oh, that's how it works. So let's tell you a little bit now, I think. Let's delve into a little bit of the story of this. My paintings lately have taken place in a world I've been creating called Mirror. It's a world that isn't directly attached to our own, but there are passages, and it's not abnormal for us to catch a glimpse of it in a dream or a nightmare or particular area where a passageway is thinly veiled. Magic imbues this world, and long ago something happened. What exactly happened isn't widely known, but somehow a sickness or a mutation was born in the magic itself. Like all life forms with an affliction, it is presented in different ways and affects different areas. Some areas exude more moderate symptoms, while others have been warped into nearly uninhabitable zones, where laws of perception and the tangible are hardly separate. This is one of those areas. So in case you don't think that I'm doing yellow enough, check this out. This is some of that bright neon yellow. I'm gonna glaze it in. Is that yellow enough for you? Who's yellow now? Who's yellow now? Sorry. Back to the story. This is one of those areas. One of the first to become afflicted. Now called blanksome by all those who are wise to stay away. It was once a sprawling field of wildflowers, but is now filled with a golden dust in a perpetual windstorm. Many have wandered in, drawn by its beauty, only to get lost as the magical sickness has a tendency to confuse its visitors. And this is Mish Mash, or Mish and Mash, depending on how lonely he is. He has been here almost since the beginning. No one is quite sure if he's two people or one person or two who have become one. In fact, he doesn't quite remember, but he's one of the few who make this his home, making it his duty to help guide anyone who enters Blanksome back the way they came. Despite his good intentions, time wasn't kind to his image. His wheezing and gurgling dual breaths could be heard on the winds of the dust storm, and before long, the stories of him had mutated as much as his physical form, from the kindly guide of Blanksome to the gruesome beast lurking in the cloud. After more time, more things were afflicted, and more terrible things were birthed that would also become lost in Blanksome. So the vast majority of the people of Mir fled the area long ago, and Mish Mash still dutifully wandered Blanksome in case any straggler may be lost, hoping to find someone, but also hoping that he doesn't. One night, as Mish Mash trudged about, he noticed something he'd never seen before. Something incredibly bright and fast-moving was following him, but as he stopped, it would also stop. It would not answer his call. It seemed curious of him. After several tries, He resigned that it was likely nothing too dangerous and continued his work. But it got closer, and soon he saw it was in front of him. As he made one final attempt to call out to it, it advanced towards him, slumped on the ground, and started making the strangest noise. It was a noise he'd never heard before, or... No, it sounded a bit like his own breathing, a kind of gurgling sound, but smaller, more like a bubbling. It reached out towards him and rolled on its back, flicking its tail. Strange little creature, large ears, covered in fur. Soon, they were never apart. Oh, look at that happy kitty cat. He's all squinty with happiness. This effect was really hard to get. I wanted it to look like dust, and I had to put each dot of dust about 5 times before it would coat. But anyway, it's time to sign this one. Thank you for watching, everybody. If you liked the story, let me know in the comments. You have any ideas or questions? Feel free to throw them in the comment section, and I will answer them. This was fun. Don't think I want to do yellow again for a while, but thank you very much for watching. This is the finished piece. Thanks for watching, everybody.